I was thrilled to be back yesterday from my vacation. Many people really mad at me that I was gone for 10 days, even though we had guest hosts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, but in so doing, we're going to go through some interesting posts from the David Pakman Show subreddit. There are now more than 32,000 of our viewers and listeners subscribed for free to the subreddit. You can find it at davidpakman.com/Reddit, whether you want to complain about my vacations, talk about Afghanistan, talk about healthcare policy. It's wide open, well moderated, respectful, mostly respectful discussion. davidpakman.com/Reddit. Here's just an example post. David needs to come back now. I miss him, which I love to see that. I really was flattered at the number of people that count on me and wanted me back during my vacation. It was flattering is really the only way I can describe it. And also, I got a bunch of really ugly messages from people. David, how dare you be on break? I watch your videos every day and you just leave and you're on vacation. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah, the show is free, right? I mean, the show is free. I also got a couple of emails from people who thought I would or suggested that I cancel my trip like halfway through when the Afghanistan stuff happened. It's like, even if that made sense, does anybody know how complicated it is? Like at this point, you need COVID tests to get back to the country. Changing flights last minute is outrageously expensive, and accommodations. I mean, that seemed like an unreasonable expectation, but I'm going to focus on the positive, not the people threatening to never watch again because I took a vacation. The number of people that wrote me messages saying, David, when you were gone, I realized I really look forward to listening to the show and watching the clips each day. I love that. I'm flattered by that, and I'm glad to be back. Another post from the David Pakman Show subreddit about independent media. This is a really interesting post, actually. User Knower of Stuff asked, do you think a big issue with new media is that commentators at some point will have to choose between pandering to their audience rather than being objective and telling them what they need to hear or risk losing viewership? Yes, we've talked about this. You could describe that as the phenomenon of audience capture, where the entity, the show, the host becomes captured by the audience and has to do what the audience wants or expects rather than what they believe or believe is best. I have made a commitment, and I've talked about this before. We sometimes disagree. By we, I mean my audience with me or parts of my audience with me. We sometimes disagree about things. There's disagreement right now with some in my audience about Afghanistan. There's been disagreement in the past about all sorts of different issues. Sometimes, there's like a vaccine skeptical component of the audience. There's people in the audience who didn't like my view of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict or whatever. But the promise I've made is I want to be the anti-grifter in the sense that I'm just going to tell you what I believe. And I'm not going to tell you what I think the audience wants to hear because I don't want to lose a portion of No. If there's any criticism of what I say on the show, it should be substantive because you disagree with me or think that I'm wrong, but not because anybody thinks that I'm coming up with a take that will be the best for the audience so that we don't lose viewership. That's never been what I've done. So that's been my commitment. I think I've stuck to it. Last post I want to highlight. Yes, I did have sort of one of these accidental portmanteaus yesterday. I used the word questionate, and I meant questioning and vaccinate. I some kind of questionating. I put it together. And user Puza saying people should not be questionating the wisdom of getting inoculated against COVID. And I can absolutely agree with that. If people want to put that on Urban Dictionary, by all means, go ahead. But we should not questionate. Questionate would be questioning vaccination. Let's do it. Let's get ourselves vaccinated. All right. Join the discussion at davidpakman.com/Reddit.